Joe, happy belated birthday.
Thanks, Blake.
How late were you at Brewhouse on, was that Saturday night?
Yeah, it was Saturday night. It was a great night. Stayed out pretty late. We were all there. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
We're there to watch the preseason game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And then I was there probably till midnight, and then we rolled over to Star Bar where they had a tribute band playing. It was fun.
Star Bar. What was the tribute band?
The Ramones.
The Ramones. Like, can you give us a little sample?
It wasn't a straight-up tribute band. It was a bunch of different bands that had the same style, punk rock style of the Ramones that were playing all night. Cool. And it was pretty cool. This one girl playing this bass. I'm used to playing cello. But she was playing this bass that was as big as this roof. And she's standing on top of it and screaming in the mic. It was pretty fun. But Brewhouse was a lot of fun, too. You guys came out. I brought a bunch of superhero capes as we were wearing our Atlanta United gear with everyone wearing a different superhero cape. What did I get you one?
Yeah, I was Superman for a second there. Superman. But then we put it on the guy that fell asleep at the bar. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
That was pretty good.
That was a good one.
But, guys, thanks for joining us today. Again, we're ATLians United podcast. My name's Blake, joined by my co-host, ATL Joe, also known as Joe. Or Joe Maskery. We're here to pretty much catch you up on all things Atlanta United, and we're really excited you guys decided to join us for episode 4. This week we're really excited about a lot of things. Obviously, preseason recap coming up. We finally have a regular season game coming in with Houston, and then we just want to let you know about where you can watch the game, all the great spots around Atlanta to catch our season opener, because I'm pretty excited, Joe. I don't know how you're feeling about the game.
Blake, it's game week.
Okay.
It's game week. Oh, my God, Blake, it's game week.
I know.
It's been so long. It's actually official.
It hasn't set in. I don't know why.
This podcast is actually our last preseason podcast and our first game week podcast.
So it's over.
So preseason ends about halfway through this podcast.
So it's over. We're dropping preseason. We still need to talk about it.
We're dropping preseason halfway through this podcast.
We still need to talk about it.
And then I'll save my excitement for game week.
Okay. But we are extremely excited for game week. We are extremely excited to preview the regular season and get you guys excited for week 1 in Houston, which I will be there. Joe, again, I'd like to point it out, we're really sorry you're not going to be in Houston with me week 1. But
yeah, it's kind of sad.
If you want me to bring something along, some part of you with me, I'll be happy to.
I've got plenty of stuff you can bring along.
Okay.
I'd like to hit on that later in the show.
Okay, we'll get there.
Got a little surprise for you guys.
We'll get there. Joe, what's up with Atlanta United?
Oh, some big news this week. Uncle Arthur, our very own owner, the best owner in all of soccer, was inducted to the Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. Little round of applause for Uncle.
It's like golf clap.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a Hall of Fame.
They've got a Georgia Sports Hall of Fame, and Uncle Arthur was the very first owner to be inducted into it. It's held in a ceremony held in Macon. A bunch of other wonderful athletes were inducted into it as well. You can go check it out if you have the Atlanta United app. Go check them out. They got a great story about it. And so congratulations to Uncle Arthur.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I didn't know there was a Georgia Sports Hall of Fame. 2, do you know any other athletes in it? Okay.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Because there's only one person that matters, Uncle Arthur.
It's Uncle Arthur.
So, exciting about that. I know that we also have kind of the March to Soccer coming up.
Yeah.
A lot of different charities getting involved. I know that between, the 26th of February and March the 4th, that Atlantic station, that team store there is going to be accepting a lot of donations for different
every
charities.
Every day of the week, they're going to be doing something different. One cool thing, Brad Guzan's got his own little charity. It's My Sister's House.
Cool.
So he's going to be doing something. Is that on Tuesday? Do you remember?
I think so. So, if you're out near Atlantic Station, near the team store, please, they need all sorts of different donations ranging from, it looks like, just things like soap, Clorox wipes, ponchos, umbrellas, anything that can help people in need. That'd be really awesome for the Atlanta United community to come out in full force and really support a lot of these charities.
Yeah. So, guys, look up the March to Soccer and try to make one of the events that's all leading up to the opening night kickoff. Preseason. What are your thoughts? Was it good, bad, ugly, better, worse?
All of the above. Does that work? Because honestly, I thought we had some great moments. I thought overall our performance was pretty mediocre. I think that we didn't see our starting 11 a single time. And I think that we learned a lot about our team and about our players, but I'm not sure that we really ever clicked on all cylinders. So preseason for me was preseason. It doesn't matter. Like we said earlier in the show, who really cares at this point?
Yeah.
We're 0-0-0. We are at 0 points with every other MLS team in the table, and it's week 1 coming up. But
so no one cares that Joseph's 1 goal per game is thrown out of the board.
Well, actually, he ended up with how many goals during the preseason? Because my tally was 0.
If you count 1 against us and 1 against them.
Yeah, I think that's at least my math. If you score an own goal, it should take away from your goal tally. But
so Joseph, if you're listening, it doesn't count.
Yeah,
make it up in the regular season.
Yeah, well, yeah, none of it counts. But I think we need to take away what the players that really push themselves closer to the first team is my biggest takeaway from the preseason. Mm-hmm. Okay, so a lot of question marks coming in about Ezequiel Barco right off the bat. Is he going to mesh with his teammates? He's only 18. Mm-hmm. He comes in, huge goal in the second game.
Against Minnesota.
I think that's a giant confidence booster for him. I think that he was one of those guys, I was worried about him meshing with the team and fitting in early. And to get that goal, it was a sweet goal too. Cutting in on his right foot, bending it around the keeper. It was just good to see. It was a goal with a lot of confidence in it.
It was good. And Minnesota game, you mentioned that we're talking about that one. That was a game we saw most of our projected starters in that game versus the next game we didn't. And Barco really did stand out. He was the guy that got the goal. But during the course of the game, you saw him constantly dribbling around players, multiple players. He was in 2-on-1 situations where he was the one dribbling out of it, and him and Miggy linked up pretty well, I thought. And it's kind of see him breaking out a little bit. He still might need a couple more games into the season, and we might see his true stride hit because you remember these guys are still coming into form. And it was a lackluster preseason. But we were mixing a lot of different players. We were one big thing I thought was great to see the 3 injured players. We had Escobar, we had Tito, and Michael Parker's finally back into the lineup. They got a little fitness games in there, and I expect to see them starting day 1.
Yeah. So, we'll talk a little bit about our projected starting 11 for week 1. I think key takeaways also that you mentioned the 3 injured players. Garza was the 4th injured player, kind of on that injury report, kind of on the fringe. I knocked on my wooden hammer last week to make sure that that we stayed fit. I didn't hear of any new injuries after the preseason. I think we're very fit headed into week 1. If we do have any injuries, it might be a fringe player and an ATL United 2 player that I'm not really familiar with. Other players that stood out for me during the preseason that I think inched themselves closer to the first team. I'm going to highlight a guy I've talked about a lot in previous episodes, Andrew Carleton.
He's one of our own.
He's one of our own, and he had a fantastic third game. And it was against, obviously, a USL opponent in Charleston. It was obviously a 0-0 draw. If you just looked at the result, you'd probably think snooze fest, last preseason game. We're just trying not to get anyone hurt. But something you hit on, big point, we had 3 crucial players that needed fitness. We needed Escobar to get fitness.
Yes.
We needed Parkhurst to get fitness.
Yes.
We definitely needed to make sure Garza was okay. But the third, kind of crucial piece that I saw coming in, I think that Andrew Carleton is our first player off the bench.
Oh,
I really
a big projection.
At least in the attacking format, I really do. I think, if we're up late in a game and we need a defender, okay, maybe a different type sub.
Yeah.
But I think if we're seeking a goal, if we're tied or we're down a goal late in a game, I don't know who's better off the bench right now.
He brings something special. I see that raw talent in him. And again, he's played against Charleston Battery 3 times in the past year now.
Yeah.
And all 3 times he looks great. Obviously, he's very skillful on the ball. There were plenty of clips during that Charleston game where he was making great moves, first moves. He was making 1-2 passes, making diagonal cuts where he had a couple of great chances. And he threw a header in there during the game that was pretty awesome. So I do agree with you. I think I want him on the bench. I think it's going to build up to him being the first player off the bench because he's only 17. And one guy a lot of people have compared him to the past, they call him Powder Springs Pulisic. And it's kind of unfair to compare him to Christian Pulisic. But he has a lot of comparabilities. He plays a similar position, starting at the same age. But if you think Pulisic had to really fight his way into Borussia Dortmund's starting lineup, until this year he finally got the full-on starter spot at age 19.
True.
Last year, he was fighting his way in. He played a lot of right back and left back in Borussia Dortmund just to find his way on the field at 18. So we got a lot to build up with Carleton, which I love. You just see the raw talent, and I can't wait to see him. I want to play as many games as he wants. But there's still a lot there that we want. I think there's so much more to be unleashed.
Yeah, and so, game 2 against Minnesota, we saw pretty close to our starting lineup. Hopefully we throw Zizzo out of that starting lineup. Hopefully we throw McCann out of that starting lineup.
We've got Escobar.
And we had one of our favorites on the podcast, Gresselmania, Julian Gressel.
Gresselmania!
Do you think Gressel's in the starting lineup right now? Because he was in that second game, but then, obviously it looks like Tito's is healthy. Tito Villalba, and honestly, I think he takes back that right spot. So
I agree with you 100% on that. Gresselmania, as much as he's one of my favorite players, and I know he'll come back into form, he had a rough preseason.
Yeah.
He looked a little lost sometimes. His first touch was off.
Yeah.
But, we saw a little bit of that last year, and then he got benched, and then he came back when Miggy got hurt, and all of a sudden it was Gresselmania time, coming back to claim that belt. So don't shy off of Gresselmania, and he's got that competitive edge. Like, if you put him on the bench, he's going to prove you wrong. So I do think he's going to be taking a back seat first, I think he'll be the first off the bench. That he's earned that spot.
Yeah.
And a young player I want to touch on before we move on is Andrew Wheeler-Aminu. He had a wonderful game against Charleston Battery. Awo. That's a good one. Yeah, Awo had a wonderful game playing that CDM that we've been talking so much about, and it's kind of up in the air.
Please no McCann.
No McCann. I want Larry to start. And then it's between, I used to say Gosselin, but now Andrew Awo. He's got a good backup spot, and so does Oliver Shannon. That's a good spot to kind of see who's going to be there. And it's a battle because we're obviously not going to replace him. And now that I just said that, we probably replace him tomorrow.
True.
But
no, I totally agree with you. We learned a lot this preseason. I'm personally, ready to move on. In my opinion, I'm tired of preseason. Once again, preseason is over, Joe. It's game week.
Cheers to that. Preseason is over.
I don't know about you. I'm feeling kind of thirsty. I
need a beer. Beer of the week. That's right. It is week. Beer of the week, and I am back. I am going to present you with the beer of the week. This week we got Slap Fight. It's an India Pale Ale from Monday Night Brewing Company. Please, tie one on. This is a wonderful beer. Let me open it for you. My spike is back in hand. Look at that. It's back. It came back through the portal. And here we go. Let's see if I can hammer it in.
I believe in you. But thanks for letting me borrow it last week.
Let's get a little ATL chant going on. Ready?
A-T-L. Oh,
that's a first.
Dude, I think you just busted that can open.
I do that every week.
Yeah. That
Should
time,
be used to it by now.
That time the spike opened the beer, not the chant.
That's right.
To our listeners.
You know why? Because the preseason's over, and now it's time for regular season.
It's time for regular season. The Spike's open the beers now.
Slap Fight brew from Monday Night Brewing Company. A wonderful place. I've always go to that brewery. That's one of my top choices.
They got 2 locations now.
They have 2?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had a second.
They got one, kind of on the west side Beltline now called Monday Night Garage. So our listeners need to check that one out too. Really
That's
cool
great.
space.
You said it's on the Beltline.
Yeah, the new west side extension on the Beltline. They got a new Monday Night location.
That's good. I used to pick up my Slap Fight when I played golf at Bobby Jones. Mm-hmm. You ever play golf there?
I have. Just one round.
It's sad, though. That's another one I'm going to have a tear for. I drove past it the other day, and they bulldozed the whole back 9. Yeah. They're turning into 9 holes. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Atlanta, why'd you let that happen?
Well, I play most of my golf at like Candler Park. I don't know if you ever played Candler Park. I like the cheap courses, But,
Back to soccer, and, we have wonderful chants going on through the season. But I'd like to mention that we got Tata.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Hey, Tito.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
WrestleMania.
But we lost Carmona.
Joe and I are working on a new chant. We love all the chants out there. Joe and I, both in supporters groups, we've worked with some different chants out there, thrown some different things out there.
We sing them rowdy and proud every game.
We might have pulled this one off a Premier League team, but I think it really works, Joe. That's a really solid chant, and we're not tired of "We Are the A." We just think that the 30th time it's sung in a game, maybe we could mix it up.
Yeah.
Maybe bring a little.
We need
bring
to have
a little
more
Tata to the game.
A little bit more chance out
there.
So
I don't know. You guys get back to us on that one. If that one's garbage, let us know.
Give us some feedback.
Yeah,
we might bring out some more chant.
We're
probably going to bring out some more chants throughout the year. So
not the last time you'll hear from us.
That's a good one.
So yeah, this beer it's like a West Coast IPA. I really really enjoy it. 2 locations out for Monday night. Yeah, I guess you're supposed to go there on Monday nights. Is that their thing?
Weekends are overrated.
I like my weekends, but I also like my Mondays. So I think I can.
Weekends are for Atlanta United.
That's true, and some random weekdays. Don't forget about those. Where I'm,
only 5.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't go to work the next day, but yeah, I really like this beer.
But you said you're going to the first game. Can you again tell us how you're getting there?
Yeah. So I'm flying out. I think around 6 a.m. on Saturday morning, and we're gonna go to Houston, and we're gonna be there all day long. I'm gonna make it all day long. The goal is to get on the plane home, not the plane there. I'm not worried about that. I think I'm going to share an Uber with some people that I've met on the internet that are also looking to share Ubers from the Houston airport down into the city, because it's a pretty good distance. Don't really have any metro or train options there. I couldn't be more excited, man. There's going to be, supporters groups out in Forest. I know Resurgence is close to 100 people now. Really excited about meeting up with that crew. I think what we're going to see, and honestly, hopefully you can see it on TV, because I know you're going to be watching intently, hopefully.
I will be watching intently.
I really think we're going to make noise. I think you're going to hear Atlanta chants over the Houston crowd. I think we're going to be united. We're going to be tightly packed in one section. I think it's section 230. I'm super pumped.
You hear that, fans? Section 230. Here's a call out. All my spontaneous Atlanta United fans, go out there, buy a last-minute plane ticket, get a round trip same day. You can catch all sorts of deals. Buy a ticket in Section 230. Let's show up in droves.
Yeah.
Let's show them how rowdy and proud we are.
And they're not ready for it.
They are not ready for it. I don't know. I think they might be a little bit anticipating what's going on, because I've kind of jumped into something I want to touch on a little bit. But yeah. I want you guys to come show up and be proud.
Yeah, well, we could just talk briefly about other places you can watch the game if you're not as fortunate as me. I'm just kidding. I'm not throwing shade at any of our listeners. I'm just really excited to be at the game. But here in Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of places that are still staying rowdy and proud, if you will.
Yes.
I know that Terminus Legion's meeting up at our beer of the week from last week's home, Second Self Brewing Company, Second Self Beer Company. I get all these different breweries, beers, and get them mixed up.
It all sounds good together.
It's a watch party there, I believe. Is that right, Joe? I know you're a Terminus Legion member.
Yeah, it's a watch party there. Go and show up if you can't make it to the game. That's another one. Second Self Beer Company. A good one, where I spent my birthday party, and they're huge Atlanta United fans, is Brewhouse.
Yeah, Brewhouse is awesome.
They're big time about it. Blake and I are there all the time. We watch all sorts of soccer there. So why stop at MLS? And
possibly
the greatest
Liverpool.
The greatest team alive is Atlanta United, and they'll be hosting a watch party there. So if you can't make it out to Houston, show up to Brewhouse.
Yeah.
Any others that we?
Yeah, I know Resurgence is at Der Beer Garden. I know that Footie Mob and Faction haven't quite released their watch parties, but they
Footie
come
Mob
out a little late.
Last year, their watch party was always at Midway, so I'm sure they're going to.
That's their home bar there. So really cool spot.
Go check out that.
I know that All Stripes is at Wolf's in Piedmont. I think that either way, no matter who you align with, no matter what supporters group you're part of, get out there and watch the game with your friends on Saturday. This is our home opener, coming up the next week. And to really get off to a good start this season, I think we need to win in Houston. Going into that home opener against DC, I just think get out there.
Going on the road in the MLS has always – we struggled a little bit last year.
We did.
At times we did well, but actually historically – we did better than most. Usually, you lose almost every road game you get, or 50%, I believe.
Well, that just shows the parity of the MLS compared to other, giant leagues around the globe, especially in Europe. There's not a lot of parity. But the MLS, it's up and down every year. Road teams always struggle. But we're gonna make it feel like a home game in Houston on Saturday.
Yeah, we got to bring the fans.
So they're gonna think we're maybe they won't think we're at Mercedes-Benz, but they're at least gonna think we're back at Bobby Dodd. That's all I'm gonna say because we're bringing the noise.
Oh, Bobby Dodd, how I miss those days.
Yeah. If you guys catch me on the plane or at the game, be sure to say what up. Like I said, that offer that I'll buy you a beer still stands if I have any money left. So, Joe, I know you've spent some time in Houston. I'm going to Houston. Can you just tell me a little bit about what I should expect once I get off that plane?
You remember last week I got stuck in Houston.
Yeah, well, my memory's not that bad yet.
I took a plane. I haven't
killed that many brain cells yet.
I got on a plane last week, and out of nowhere, land in Houston. Like, why did I get stuck in Houston? It was awful. I luckily had some equipment on me. I did the podcast remotely, and I was fortunate to do that. But then as I was trying to book a second plane to get home to Atlanta, where the true home is, I was like, well, I got some time to pass by here. So I figured, why not have a little fun in this town?
Yeah?
I wanted to go check out what Houston has to offer. They had so I decided to go to a little local print shop, printed off a bunch of little banners. Hold on one second. Blake, take it over.
Wait, local to Houston? Joe, as much as he likes to pretend that he just ended up in Houston by randomly getting on a plane, I have a pretty good relationship with Joe. I have a little insider knowledge. Joe wasn't just going to Houston randomly. He wasn't going to Houston for work. Joe had a specific mission in Houston, and that was to let him know that Atlanta United is coming.
I said, Atlanta United, we're coming to conquer. I was in Houston. I printed off these little banners, and you're going to see a little bit later that I went to their training facility. As I got there, it was underwhelming. It had a lot of nice soccer fields, a lot of bad soccer fields, and a very small medical building. It was cool. They had a little youth game going on.
When you say medical building, do you mean for the team or
for the team?
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like
They have a little medical building for when other teams come in, like Atlanta United, and hurt them so bad that they got to treat their injuries. And so I slapped a couple of these little banners on their building.
Slap fight.
Yeah, a little slap fight. A little slap. And I put up, it said, Houston, we're coming to conquer. We got Tito Villalba and Joseph Martinez on one.
Yeah.
And then a great shot of Miggy after he scored a goal against Houston last season.
Yeah.
And I slapped them. And I was there, but there was a ton of young kids and parents around, so I didn't really get the GoPro out there and make a fool of myself. I decided to take a trip downtown. I decided to check out BBVA Stadium. That's where they play their games.
The Bubba.
Yeah, the Bubba.
I'm going there.
You're going there. And be excited. It's a soccer exclusive stadium. It looks like a beautiful park from the outside.
Yeah, no, I've checked it out.
And out front, they had a little Houston Dynamo. It just said Dynamo, kind of like our Midtown sign that we have over by Piedmont Park.
Oh, yeah.
The letters.
Yeah.
So I was like, that needs a little Atlanta United love. So I decided to slap these postcards all over that Dynamo stadium. And I slapped them. I tagged it. It's covered in Miggy. It's covered in Tito and Joseph. And I was looking both sides. No one was watching. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep slapping. So then I walk up the stadium and just took stickers. I saw the team store, slapped a little on the team store entrance. So when they come in the morning, they'll be like, oh, Houston, we're coming to conquer. That's Atlanta United. Slapping against the stadium. And I was like, all right, I've tagged this enough. Let's go to a local bar. And here's a bar you guys might want to check out, especially if they remember our little stickers that I put there. It's Lucky Street Pub.
Okay.
And it was walking distance from the stadium. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was a cool pub. They had it was a split bar, two sides of it, one really big side and then a smaller room in the back. And I feel like that'd be a great place to go tailgate.
Yeah.
Go in the back there, go in the bathroom, or out. Oh, this was great. I go to the bar. I sit down to get a drink. I'm sitting by the bartender, and all of a sudden, I see a cop walk into the entrance, and I'm looking over. I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Because you've been vandalizing. Let's just be honest. I mean, we can rub it any way you want.
Hold on. It was easy.
I mean,
you could
I
peel
don't
it off
know
and
if
throw
you'd
it away.
actually get in trouble with the law.
You could peel it off. I was thinking of a way to talk myself out of it. Talk my way out of it. I was like, this cop is coming to freaking arrest me.
Which you're not very good at, by the way.
Speak for yourself.
Okay, true. Very true.
All right. So the cop comes up, stands right behind me. And I'm sitting there like, okay, this is it. My time in Houston is done. And then the bartender looks at him. He's like, you got what you want? He's like, you have what I want? Oh, the burger and fries. Okay, it'll be right up. You guys sit over there. I was like, oh, my God, he's getting a to-go order. So I close my tab out, walk to the bathroom, slap stickers all over the bathroom, and then get my way out of there. As I'm leaving, I decided to go ahead and tag the bar street to show all these tags that Houston, we're coming to conquer.
And guys, Joe has given Houston a very, very clear yellow card.
Another yellow
card. But it's not for you, Joe.
What happens when I go up to 5 of those in a podcast season? Does that mean Britt has to come fill in for me?
Yeah, you're suspended for one episode.
All right, I need to keep it tame.
Yeah, sorry. Joe, I'm proud of you down there. And when I get down there, hopefully they have been lazy enough or not given enough, care about the Dynamo that, maybe I'll still see a few of the stickers around. But either way, shout out to Darren Eels last year trolling Orlando. Joe, we thank you for trolling Houston. You've done the entire Atlanta United fan base a service, whether you realize the magnitude of what you've done or not. Now Houston knows we're coming. We're excited.
We are so excited.
I'm
regular season.
My heart is starting to beat faster. I'm so excited about this week.
Yes, and I can't wait. I just got inspired last year. Orlando City, we trolled them with a billboard.
That was beautiful.
It was great. We're going to do something special again this year. But the season was getting kicked off. We're on the road. I can't be there. I was there randomly in Houston. I had to do something.
Yeah.
I felt special. And I came up with this idea with the lucky crew over here. Ben, our producer, was a big backbone in this effort.
Shout out to Ben.
Let's preview the Houston game. Why don't we?
Well, yeah, because, it's game week. Preseason's over. Joe's already done his mission in Houston. They know we're coming. I'm flying down. What do we expect from the team? What do we expect from the game? We need 3 points. That's all I know. How are we going to get 3 points, Joe? Let's talk about number one, the thing we're going to all check an hour before kickoff. What is Tata's starting 11 going to look like?
That's starting 11.
Because we've talked about it. We hit on it earlier in the episode. We talked about, okay, we've had preseason where, okay, we saw close to our starting 11. Not everyone we want out there. We saw some great young talent emerging. What is that winning formula? What if you are Tata Martino, Joe? What is your starting 11 week 1 in Houston?
Week 1. I'll start from the goalie. It's got to be he's big. He's tall. He's a wall.
He's a wall.
Brad Guzan. Brad Guzan is staying in that goal. And he's going to hold it down. He's going to get another save of the week this week, calling it out.
Hopefully they don't have any shots on goal, but if they do, save of the week.
Save of the week. Going from left back, you got to go with Greg Garza. Is he fully fit?
I believe he is. He played some significant minutes the third preseason game.
Yeah, since he's fully fit, you got to go Greg.
Yeah.
You got to go LGP MVP, the notorious LGP.
You know me.
Nice. And then in the middle, our captain, Michael Parkhurst. He's got to be. He's solidified. He looked great against Charleston. He looked like he was showing that veteran leadership. He is ready for this season. He is a veteran. He is going to hold it down. I love to see Parkhurst in there.
Okay, so Parky, LGP at center back.
And then the right back, we got to go Franco Escobar, the new guy, Frenchie, RG.
Yeah.
Frankie Escobar.
He
looked also good. I can't wait to see him combining with Tito Villalba down that right side. It might add another flank to Tito's game.
Yeah.
And he made some good bombing runs, and he's just getting started. I am so excited to see him. So I'd say Tito on the right wing, coming back down to the center defensive mid. You got to go Larry, Mr. Big Red.
Yeah.
And then coming over to the left wing, we got to go with the $15 million man, Ezequiel Barco. Yeah, that little guy's going to be dancing all around, throwing balls in left and right. And then in the right to the middle, one up, we got Darlington Nagby, our darling, the darling child. And in the attacking mid, Miggy. Right up front, Joseph Martinez, and that's my starting 11.
Okay, so just to recap, I actually 100% agree with your starting 11. If everyone's at fitness levels,
killed it.
If everyone's at the fitness levels we think they're at. Again, we're not at the training ground every day. Joe and I have only made one trip to the training ground this year, which we did get an excellent scouting report from. Maybe Joe's been there twice. I'm not sure. But here's what I'm thinking. If we got a defense that's solidified. And LGP and Parkhurst's partnership has already been proven. We got two backs that can really bring the ball up and keep possession. We saw Zizzo, obviously, is not capable of playing our style yet.
He might be relegated to ATL UTD
and
too.
I said yet. I think Zizzo's too old to go to the USL team, but maybe not. And we got a midfield three of Larry, of Nagby, of Almiron. So I guess what you're saying is based on this preseason formations we saw, moving Larry from center back up to center defensive mid, up to that CDM role, and bringing Parky in to partner LGP.
Yeah.
That kind of pushes McCann out of the lineup because I'm kind of talking about people that we wanted out of the lineup.
Yeah.
You think Escobar's shown enough so far to take that right back spot from Zizzo?
I think definitely. If he's 100% fit, he's in there. He's starting. And
then, obviously, Tito, blasting some shots over the crossbar in preseason. Like, he does not look on form.
He did not.
But you think even off form, he's a better option than, say, and I'm just going to throw out some wild cards for week 1. You think he's a better option than Carleton on the right?
I do. I think Tito is our guy to go.
Gresselmania, would you say is a better option than Gressel on the right, which is where Gressel played?
Based on the games in preseason, Gresselmania versus Tito. I still think with Tito's wild shots, he still looked in better form than Gressel did. No offense, Gresselmania. You're my favorite. One of my favorites. And I think Gressel's on the bench. He's going to play that role kind of like he did last year, first off the bench.
Yeah. I think...
And then... go ahead.
I think that what you're getting at is that Argentinian connection on the right-hand side. You're all about it. You like Escobar.
Oh, Escobar.
You like
Tito.
Villalba.
Yeah, and then it was that reminds me. It could spark a lot like Garza to Yamil Assad last year. How Garza bombed up and down that field and connected so well. Escobar is a guy that's going to be bombing up and down the field, And Tito looks like he's ready to link. Remember, Tito had 11 assists last year.
Yeah.
He is a willing passer, and he's always in open space. He found a lot of goals right in front of the goal. He was always in the right place at the right time. He's great at passing, and I think the link-up play is going to be great there.
Yeah. Well, and final question for you, Joe. Just because we're kind of closing in on week 1, I couldn't be more excited. We've talked about Joseph a lot this preseason. We've talked about, obviously, his ability, him moving forward, what that looks like. I got more of an off-the-wall question for you.
Okay.
Who's in that backup spot? Is it Brandon Vasquez or is it Super Romario Williams? Who do you see coming off the bench if we need a striker late? If Joseph is having one of his, and I'll just throw it out there, mopey games, as I'll call them, where he doesn't score in the first, 60 or so minutes, and he starts putting his head down and kicking the goalpost.
You mean one of the games where they take him out and he rips his socks off?
Or maybe he rips his jersey off, which
great.
which I believe happened in the preseason. He missed a goal.
That would send the stadium, especially all the girls in the stadium, wild.
Literally ripped his jersey open. Unfortunately, it happened in Charleston, and it looked like to a crowd of about 200 people. But, if he rips his shirt off in front of 70,000 in Mercedes-Benz, we might have some people feigning.
Looking at the preseason, on your question, the preseason kind of tells a lot. And Romario Williams was the guy that we had replacing at the number 9 spot.
True.
And he's earned his stripes. He's earned his 5 stripes from Charleston Battery last year. I think he's the first guy that we're going to try to do with that number 9, where they had Vasquez come in and they played him at right wing and left wing.
True.
Sometimes a little at 9. So Tata likes to play Vasquez at the wings. And so my first 6 off the bench, you got Romario Williams at the number 9. You got a winger of Vasquez, a winger in Gressel. Yeah, I think
Midfielder slash winger.
Midfielder slash versatile.
He can play Miggy's role or Nagby's role, in my opinion,
you got
as well.
Defensive players, defensive mid, Kratz, the older guy, the veteran. He's coming off, playing free kicks.
Yeah.
McCann, even though I'm not a fan of how he played, I think that Tata's going to hold on to him as a left back. And then it's a battle between, do you want to go defensive, you throw Jose Hernandez, or do you want to throw a little more attack and bring up Carleton?
Yeah. Well, for me, it's got to be Carleton. I'd probably put Carleton at 2 or 3 in first off the bench. I'm not going to lie. I'd put him ahead of Vasquez.
To see that.
I'd probably, honestly, I'd definitely 100% put him ahead of McCann. Kratz is a solid player. He's getting up there in age, and I'm not sure how much longer he's going to be able to keep up with the pace of how we like to play our style. But Kratz obviously great at dead balls, set pieces, free kicks. Kratz is fantastic. Joe, if you had one guy, we've been talking about subs a little bit. Let's go back to the game at Houston. If you had one guy, and I told you, hey Joe, we're knotted up. It's an even game. It's in the 82nd minute. And we got to bring one guy off the bench, and we need a goal. Who's the guy you bring off the bench?
You talking set pieces? You talking
I'm talking. We got 8 minutes, and the ball just kicked out of bounds. Who you bringing in? Who you bringing in to get us a goal? At this point in time
of the season, I'm going Super Romario Williams.
Super Romario.
That's my boy. Who are you bringing off? Give me your one guy.
Man,
can I guess?
I've been hinting at it.
Is he one of our own?
I've been hinting at it all podcast long.
He's one of our own.
I'm bringing on Gresselmania.
Oh, yeah, wild card.
No, I love you, Andrew Carleton. I really do. But I think Gresselmania is just a guy that is going to have a huge impact, and not only coming off the bench this year, but I think he's going to get a lot of starts. Believe it or not. I think he's the rookie of the year, coming off the rookie of the year.
Yeah,
they do say the sophomore slump exists. I don't believe in it, especially in the MLS. Looking forward to big things from Gresselmania. But I'd put Carleton right behind him. Joe, what's your score prediction of this Houston game?
All right, well, a quick hit on what Houston likes to bring to the table. They're a type of team, last year they did pretty well. They got to the semifinals. They like to sit back, sometimes bunker down and hit you hard on a counter, and they hit you fast. Their defenders are slow, big. They're a tall team. Mm-hmm. Defenders are slow, but they can quick strike you on a counter. And sometimes we struggled with that last year. We brought in some pieces to try to defend that better this year. One guy I want to hit out, if they do score, I think it's going to be Albert Ellis.
Elise?
He scored 11 goals last year, and I forgot how many games he played, 15 to 20. He looked pretty solid. If they're going to score, it's between him or another shot. They were really good on set pieces last year. They scored the most goals off of set pieces and one of the fewest scored against. So they're going to score a goal with one of their big ogres on defense or with this young, fast kid, Elise. But you know what? It's the first game of the season. It's Atlanta United. They're coming to win 3-1.
3-1 final score from Joe.
3-1 final. Atlanta United on top.
I'm gonna go a little bit further away from you on my game score prediction. I'm gonna go with a 1-0 Atlanta United victory with a late goal from Darlington Nagbe. That's my prediction.
Oh, the darling of Atlanta sports.
I think everyone's writing them off. You know, they're going to be focused on our other attackers. I've been watching some Nagbe goal highlights this past week.
There's something special in them, isn't there?
This guy can pull one out of the hat. And we're not talking about rabbits. We're talking about goals from Darlington.
It'll be welcome to Atlanta where Darlington Nagbe plays.
And you know, the last thing I'll say about this game is Houston matchup. It's going to be a really, really great game. This is a good team. This is a team that made it further in the playoffs than we did. You know, they might not pack the house like we do, but they got a solid bunch of players. It's a really good matchup for us because we struggled against counterattacking teams. We struggled against big, tall teams. Let's see if we've improved. Let's see if we can take our play to the next level and really show that we can dominate teams home and away. We've proven we can dominate teams at home. You know, but I'm looking forward to this year, seeing if we can improve that away form, improve how we come and approach away games as, hey, we're here to get 3 points, not, we're here to try to get a point. We're here to try to get a draw.
No. We're here to break records. We broke a ton of them last year. We left the table open to still break a bunch of them this year.
Let's go get it.
Let's go get the most wins in a single season. Cheers.
Cheers, Joe.
To that.
Back to the regular season. We couldn't be more excited.
Can't wait.
I know the fans are ready. I know our listeners are ready.
Blake's ready to see you while he's on the road there. He's going to bring the cards I have left over so you can guys go ahead and pass them out to all the Houston fans you see while you're there.
Right. If Spirit doesn't charge me to bring them on the plane.
That's a good one. I hope that you actually have a plane to get there with.
That's true.
So I've heard they've gone with missing planes before. Anyways, thanks for listening to us. This is ATLians United. This is our podcast. I'd like to mention you can hit us up on social media. We're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram, all ATLians United. Our Gmail, atliansunited@gmail.com. And we have a website, atliansunited.com.
So much.
Yeah, and a big throw out to Phantom Maniacs. He just finished our coffee mugs, shot glasses. We'll bring them in next episode so you can see. We'll throw them on our website.
Coffee of the week.
We'll do a coffee of the week on the website. Throw it up there. And a big shout out to Chuck. He was at my birthday party. He was great. He's great with you guys to help out with anything that you want him to make, want him to design. He's awesome.
Anything custom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
awesome.
Shout out to Brewhouse. They were really good supporting my birthday, and they're going to throw a wonderful watch party this week. Go if you can't make it to Houston, go to Brewhouse. So we are Atlanta United, ATLians United. We are here to unite and conquer. And you know what, Blake? We got Tata.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Hey, Tito, Tito.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
WrestleMania.
But we lost Carmona.
We lost Carmona. That was beautiful, Joe. That was really beautiful.
Is that you burping?
No, I don't think so. Wait, we don't have any audio. Did they kill us? Did they cut us out?
Because we got Tata. Ta-ta-ta-ta.
They cut us out. They just killed us.
Tito, Tito.
I wonder how long the mics have been dead.